There's something they never tell you about pain. They tell you it breaks people. They tell you it leaves scars. And yes, sometimes it does both of those things. But what they don't talk about, what gets overlooked almost every single time, is what pain quietly builds inside you while you're too busy just trying to survive it. If you've been through a lot, and I mean really been through it, loss, betrayal, trauma, failure, the kind of hard that changes the shape of you, then this video is specifically for you. Because psychology is starting to confirm what many of us have felt but never had the words for. That suffering, when you come through the other side of it, doesn't just leave damage. It leaves gifts, rare ones, the kind most people will never develop because most people haven't had to. These aren't weaknesses you learned to cope with. These are genuine psychological strengths that formed inside you, forged by pressure, the same way diamonds are. So let's talk about 5 of them, because you deserve to see yourself clearly. Strength number 1. You can read people in a way that feels almost like a superpower. If you've been through a lot, chances are some of that pain came from other people. Maybe you've trusted someone who wasn't trustworthy. Maybe you were in an environment where you had to stay alert, where reading the room wasn't optional, it was how you stayed safe. And over time, your brain adapted. It had to. Psychology shows that people who experienced emotional hardship early in life often develop what researchers call heightened social sensitivity. Your nervous system learned to pick up on micro-expressions, subtle tone shifts, the small gap between what someone says and what they actually mean. You notice when someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes. You feel tension in a room before anyone names it. You know when something's off even when everything looks fine on the surface. Most people experience this as intuition, but it's actually neuroscience. Your brain became an expert pattern recognizer through experience. That coworker who seems charming but gives you a strange feeling, trust that. The friend who says they're fine but something in their voice tells you otherwise, you're probably right. This depth of perception is rare. It protects you, and it helps the people around you feel truly seen. Strength number 2. You have an emotional resilience that doesn't break. It bends. There's a concept in psychology called post-traumatic growth. It might sound like a clinical term, but the idea is deeply human. Research by psychologists Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun found that a significant number of people who go through serious adversity don't just recover, they actually report becoming stronger, more purposeful, and more open to life than they were before. You know what this looks like in real life? It's the person who lost everything and rebuilt and now genuinely doesn't fear starting over. It's the one who went through heartbreak so profound that they stopped being afraid of being alone. It's you getting up on a morning when getting up felt impossible and doing it anyway. Not because you're fearless, but because you've already proven to yourself that you can survive. This isn't toxic positivity. It's not everything happens for a reason. It's the quiet, unshakable knowledge that you have already walked through something that would stop most people, and you're still here. That knowledge lives in your body now. It's yours forever. And it means the next hard thing, while still hard, has less power over you than it would over someone who's never been tested. Strength number 3. You love deeply, and you mean it. This one surprises people. You might think that going through pain, especially pain caused by other people, would make someone closed off, guarded, unable to love fully. And yes, sometimes there are walls, that's understandable, but psychology shows something interesting. People who have experienced real loss often develop a far greater capacity for genuine connection and gratitude than people who haven't. When you've lost someone or come close to losing yourself, you stop taking ordinary moments for granted. A conversation with a friend who really listens, the safety of a person who stays, a quiet evening that feels peaceful. These things hit differently when you know, really know, how quickly they can disappear. Research on attachment and loss consistently shows that people who have grieved deeply often become the most present, most loyal, most intentionally loving people in their relationships. They don't love carelessly because they know what it costs to lose. They check in, they show up, they say the things that need to be said because they understand that time isn't guaranteed. If you're someone who loves hard, who feels things deeply, who takes friendship and loyalty seriously, that didn't happen by accident. It was shaped by everything you've been through. That depth of love is one of the rarest and most beautiful things a person can offer. Strength number 4. You have a wisdom that cannot be taught in any classroom. There's a kind of knowing that only comes through lived experience, not book knowledge, not advice, not theory. The kind you carry in your chest because you earned it. Psychology refers to this as experiential wisdom, and it's fundamentally different from intelligence or education. People who have faced real adversity tend to develop what researchers describe as a more complex and nuanced understanding of human nature, morality, and meaning. They're less likely to see the world in black and white. They're better at holding two contradictory truths at once. That a person can be both good and harmful, that a situation can be both a loss and an opportunity, that something can hurt and still be the right thing. This shows up in how you give advice. Have you ever noticed that people come to you with their problems, that you somehow know what to say even when there's no perfect answer? That's not coincidence, that's wisdom. People are drawn to those who have walked through fire because those people speak with a kind of quiet authority that can't be faked. They know you're not just telling them what sounds good, you're telling them what's real. Your perspective on life, on people, on what matters and what doesn't, it was shaped by things most people haven't experienced. That makes it rare. That makes it valuable. Don't let anyone convince you that what you've been through was only loss. It also made you someone worth listening to. Strength number 5. You have an extraordinary capacity for compassion. Not sympathy, compassion. There's a difference. Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone from a distance. Compassion is feeling with someone, sitting inside their experience with them, letting their pain actually matter to you. And research consistently shows that people who have suffered tend to show higher levels of empathic accuracy, meaning they're better at understanding exactly what someone else is feeling, not just that they're feeling something. When you've been at your lowest, when you've known what it's like to feel misunderstood or invisible, or like your pain was too much for the people around you, you don't want that for others. So when someone is struggling, you don't minimize it. You don't rush them toward feeling better. You just sit with them. And that is one of the most healing things one human being can offer another. This kind of compassion changes people's lives. It makes people feel less alone in their darkest moments. It creates the kind of relationships where people can finally exhale and say the true thing. You might not realize what a gift you carry just by being willing to truly see someone who is hurting, but the people in your life feel it. They feel it every time. So here's what I want to leave you with. If you've been through a lot, you've probably spent some time wondering why. Why you? Why so much? And those questions don't always have satisfying answers. But what I hope you take from this is a different kind of question. Not why did this happen to me, but who did this make me? Because the answer is someone with perception that most people don't have. Someone with resilience that doesn't just bounce back, but grows forward. Someone who loves with their whole heart because they know the weight of what love means. Someone with wisdom that can't be bought or borrowed. And someone whose compassion has the power to change the rooms they walk into. You were not just someone who survived. You were someone who was built by survival into something more. And that is worth recognizing. If this resonated with you, subscribe to this channel. We talk about psychology, human behavior, and the quiet truths about who you are and why you are that way. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you're comfortable, leave a comment below. I'd love to know which of these 5 strengths you feel most in yourself. Take care of yourself. You've already done harder things than that.